All right. Hello, pretty souls. This is the Pretty Coach. Also, the Pretty Coach Oracles on YouTube. And my name is also known as Jude Naim Shakam. Okay. So I wanted to come and talk about, and I have my notes. I have to have them, otherwise I will get off track. This is something that I've kind of wanted to talk about on this channel actually for a while now. And I have to be honest. Okay, so I've been wanting to have like a certain background and I wanted stuff to look a certain kind of way before I did this video, but I haven't, I'm not in that place yet. So, but I don't want to wait to do the video. So I'm just going to put this video out here now, and then who knows, maybe in a few months or a year's time, I can revisit it and I'll have the type of scenery, background, and all that kind of stuff that I really would like to have. Until then, this message is going out now, okay? It's not something brand new. It's just going to be just wrapped up in a way that Spirit gave it to me, okay? So with my channel, in case I have not made it clear at all about what I want to happen on this particular channel, because I haven't been very active, but I'm going to do better with that. This is a channel where I want to talk about first the beauty of the spirit, right? And then also physical beauty, because I'm a girl and I like things like wigs and or beautiful natural hair, which I'm going to show. See, I got my natural hair. It's popping up underneath there. But anyway, I want to talk about those types of things. I want to talk about nails, but I'm also a very, very spiritual person. Nothing to me is not connected to the spirit, right? So I also want to have those types of conversations on this channel. I also am an entrepreneur myself. And I have to admit, I don't feel like a successful entrepreneur. And a successful entrepreneur will be someone who can, maintain their daily living expenses. I'm not there yet, but I do want to be there. But in the meantime, I have never had a problem highlighting people who are in the place that I want to be. And so that's another aspect of this channel that I hope to get on and popping very soon. Promoting and or sharing content from female entrepreneurs who are doing the type of things that I want to do. Okay? Until I'm doing it. So without further ado, this is going to be the content geared more towards the spiritual, self-love, self-care content that I want to have on the channel. So let's hop into it, okay? These are notes that I wrote probably, it's just been a while ago. I almost want to say a year, but I don't remember the date and I don't want to be lying if it was sooner than that, okay? Um, so it's the name of this is about. Oh, I forgot to say one big thing. I'm so sorry. My channel is also definitely dedicated to young ladies who have been sexually abused, whose self-esteem kind of took a hit from that, and they're like living life, having to navigate through and repair and heal themselves from things like sexual abuse. And not just sexual abuse, but that's one that I have had experience on. So I can talk about that. I may not be able to talk about everything about it, but I can share my experiences from that, okay? So that's another major platform that I cannot wait to get into a little bit more. I have a great love and heart for people, specifically ladies who have been abused. So here we go. It says, how to feel pretty and confident after sexual abuse. Now, here's the thing. These tactics can work whether you've been sexually abused or not. Okay. But again, you guys know that part of my focus is to women who have experienced sexual abuse. So, number one, the first thing that I was led to write down is to get to the root. So, what are you talking about, Jude? What do you mean, Naeem? Get to the root of the issue. Like, where did you first recognize? Because a lot of times we don't recognize when we lose our confidence. We don't recognize. Some people never even had it. Okay, I highly doubt that though. I think we come here with everything that we need. I think that over time these things get chiseled away at by other people's opinions of us, and of course, then that shapes how we feel about ourselves, right? So it says, get to the root. Why do you feel ugly? Who told you that you were ugly? Right? Where did that come from? That's what I mean by getting to the root. I gotta take this paper out because it ain't gonna stay. So, more of the little bullet points I have is that it says you can look at yourself and you see your beauty. And I think what I'm trying to encourage here is that, first of all, I have met so many beautiful women who absolutely think that they're hideous. And I just kind of be like, I'm goofy, so I'm acting out. I'd be like, what? You're gorgeous. You're stunning. Like, if I was a guy, you could get it. Or not just about getting it, but like, I would want to get to know you. I'd want to, I'd be interested in learning more about you. I'd like to have you on my arm. Okay. So who the hell, where's this coming from? Right. So then it says, look at yourself, see your beauty. And then I asked the question and I said, have you experienced sexual abuse? Did you feel ugly or lose your confidence? Or have you ever looked at yourself and felt that you weren't pretty? Okay, so that's my questions for like people who've been abused, and even if you haven't been abused. If you've ever looked at yourself and thought that you weren't pretty for any given goddamn reason, then this still can apply to you. Why did you feel that way? Where did that god doggone thought come from? What about yourself do you think is ugly? And what are you comparing yourself to? That's something to also look at, right? Moving on. Don't want to be too long-winded because I can't be. I have notes here, and I said this course is designed with you in mind because I feel like at some point, like I wanted to offer this as a course, okay? And who's to say that it won't happen? But as of now, I just wanted to talk about this, okay? So B, it says find things about yourself that you think are pretty or beautiful, okay? And I said they can be tangible or intangible. So, first of all, I need to say that this is all stuff that I did personally in my life. Like, from the time that I can't even really remember when I really started doing this, but I know that obviously, okay, so for those who may not know, I'm about to do a real brief rundown. Everybody get, well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people get talked about or they get talked about in school, and that's where all of my stuff happened at first. And so I used to get called ugly and stuff like that by fellow classmates, boys and or girls. And so before then I had no idea, right, that I was ugly, because I was just living at home with my parents, who always told me that I was beautiful. Everybody know this ain't my real head. If you don't know, now you know, because you can see my little nappy roots up underneath there, which are actually amazing. But moving on, I never knew I was ugly until I got to school. It was once I went to school and people was like, you ugly, your lips are too big, your eyes are whatever, your teeth are buck, whatever the case may be. You're a roach, all the stuff, fish lips, all the things that people call me throughout school. I didn't know that it was bad because I was always told in my household that I was absolutely beautiful just the way that God made me. So it wasn't until I got to school that I started to even question if my parents was lying to me or not. Now thankfully, because my son is in Leo according to the tropical zodiac, that also gave me a healthy dose of confidence. So I'm just like, look, you can think what you want to about me. My lips may be big, and I was really witty, like really educated. I learned a lot, loved learning. So I always paid attention to the fact that white people, no offense to white people who may come across this channel, okay, but I'm gonna talk about my truth, okay? And I always remember noticing that white people would have like real thin lips, almost no lips at all. And then when they got some money, or people who had money, they would have things like lip injections, or they would go and get tans. I just observed these things in my life. And so I remember having these comebacks towards fellow black students talking about my lips were huge, okay? Or talking about how black I am, or I'm burnt, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what? And my rhetorical question and my thing, what my rhetoric, if I could talk, my line of thinking was, okay, so what? Which, am I excited? I think maybe I'm too excited. You calm down. My clapback would be, so what? My lips are big. Rich white people go and pay millions of dollars, or thousands of dollars for that matter, to have lips like the ones that I naturally have. I can grow into my lips and I don't have to pay for it. Okay. Or it would be, so what? I'm dark skinned, or so what? I'm brown skinned. I love the complexion of my skin. white people pay however much, da 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 da, right? Or it used to be more on a thing of, listen, I'm sorry that you're not okay with yourself and you feel that you need to tear me down, but I don't care what you say. My mom and my dad told me that I'm beautiful, and you know what? I know them. I have known them longer than I know you. I just met you, and you know nothing about me. So I choose to believe my parents over you. Plus, I happen to think I'm cute, right? So my point for going on this whole little tangent right there is that basically I had to learn how to speak life into myself. I had to learn how to look at me in the mirror after someone has just really could have deflated my own confidence from school. Because when you hear something over and over and over again, sometimes you can be tempted to believe that. I'm not, just because I had a healthy confidence did not mean that I didn't sometimes start to second guess myself, or that I didn't sometimes still get sad at the fact that somebody thought that I was ugly. So I would go home and I would get in the mirror, whether that was in the bathroom or in my bedroom, but I go find a mirror. And I didn't know why then, but now growing up a little bit, learning more about metaphysical things, the mirror is a portal. Okay. And also it's a mirror, so it reflects. So the things that you speak into that thing can reflect back to you. Or even if it's not that, just affirmations. I didn't know that they were called affirmations when I was doing this, but that's exactly what I was doing. I would go get in a mirror. I would stare at myself for some time. And first of all, this all depends on you and what you feel led in your spirit to do. It can be like this, or it can be an hour long. It doesn't matter. It depends on what you need, what your spirit tells you you need. I would go to the doggone bathroom and I would just start acting out things. And I'm dramatic, my Leo side and Libra. Moving on, I would go and I would act out these scenes of what I would say to people when practice my clapbacks, goddamn. That's what I used to do. Go practice my clapbacks. If it wasn't my clapbacks, which it was half the time. I like to be diplomatic though. I didn't want to chop them up just because they were chopping me, because that just wasn't my heart. I'm not gonna sit up here and call you ugly if you're not ugly. But if you are ugly, I'm gonna tell you why you ugly. And it barely has anything to do with your looks. So anyways, I would go practice. And if I wasn't practicing my clapback, I was looking at myself and I was looking at what I thought was beautiful about me. Or I would go to look at those very things that people, was talking about me about, like my skin complexion or my lips or my eyes or whatever. And I would look at it and I would find something that I find absolutely beautiful about it. And then I run with that and replace their shit with my beautiful idea about me. That's another thing that you can do. So it says, find things about yourself that you think are pretty. They can be tangible or intangible. Now, the intangible stuff that I loved about myself was how generous I was, how loving I am, how encouraging I am, how happy I normally was, all the time. I'm very loving, love being the center of attention. Or, I mean, like in my family, you know what I'm saying? I'm still kind of reserved in my own ways. But yeah, I loved that I was so loving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do anything for my people that I cut for. So I love those things about myself. I love that I liked being myself, that I didn't want to be nobody else but me. Except for like when I was real, real little. By 6 or 7, my mom and dad told me about this time that I said I wanted to be like this white lady on television. Only reason why I think I wanted to be like her was because I wanted to be on TV, and I noticed that it wasn't a lot of people that looked like me on television at that time. Moving on, I digress. Part C, it says, speak over yourself. Call out the things that you personally think are pretty about you, and then ask others what they think makes you pretty. So notice which one I did first. I didn't tell you guys to go and ask other people about what they think is beautiful about you. I ain't say that. I said, you call out the things that are beautiful about yourself, and that's first. Because ultimately, you guys, we got to remember that it's what we say that matters about us, okay? And that's for anything. Just throwing that out there. You should be okay with yourself above anyone. You should be okay with whatever decision in life that you make above anybody, because it's you that has to live with that. Moving on. So you ask yourself first, and you talk about yourself and you uplift yourself first. Then you go and ask other people. And the only reason why you asking other people is to see what things are in alignment with what you feel is beautiful about yourself too. And of course, there could be something that you missed. And it's always great to have even more things that make you feel great about yourself. So moving on. Whew, Lord, let's get this together. Okay. 4, encourage yourself. And it says, don't wait for someone else to give you praise or a compliment that you wouldn't believe anyway. Give yourself compliments and know that they're true, so that when another recognizes what you already know, it's just confirmation for you. And that pretty much ties into the last thing that I just said about, first you telling yourself and then you asking another person. Asking that other person will first be confirmation first and foremost. That's it. Okay? And then everything else is going to be extra. It's going to be a bonus to what you already feel about yourself. Also, I noticed that part that I felt the need to put in there that you wouldn't believe anyway. And it's because I have met, first of all, myself. When I hear that from other people, especially men for that matter, I feel like, boy, you could be just trying to tell me anything because you think you're going to get something out of it, or you think you want something from me or whatever. I feel like there could be an ulterior motive. Now, with other ladies and stuff like that, not so much, but it doesn't have to be the case. It could be ulterior motives with them too. Okay. I noticed that a lot of times we can get compliments and we really don't accept them from people. Like, we have a hard time accepting them. And I feel like the reason why we have a hard time accepting them could be because we do not believe them about ourselves. So that's why that little part was in there. I mean, don't even expect or don't ask other people, or do not wait for people to compliment you, because it ain't like you're going to believe their ass. No way. Especially if you don't believe it already about yourself, then you have to get into the habit first of believing your report about yourself. Period. Before you ever believe somebody else. Half the time, a lot of ladies, I have seen so many beautiful women who, when somebody compliments them, they shut it down. Oh Lord, I cannot talk. They shut the compliment down, or they be like, really? As if they don't know. Now, some people do that and it's fraud, but I'm talking about to the real ladies who, you did put work and you did put effort into yourself, and you liked it. But then when you step out the door and you realize that somebody else liked it, you still actually got nerve enough to be in shock, right? About the fact that they said that you look nice, but you thought you looked nice already. That's why you walked out the door. Y'all know how some of us, we have that confidence when we in our house, when we comfort our own homes, then we get outside and we in public, and then we might start to second guess ourselves, like, okay, well, I know that I like this, but everybody else may not have my taste, so I don't know if other people are gonna like it. And I think that that's where that kind of comes from. Really? You like it? Oh, okay then, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense. I hope it did. But the encouragement here is that you validate yourself, so that anybody else's validation is merely confirmation of you. 5, it says, indulge yourself. Do the things that you enjoy that help boost your joy and happiness. Y'all almost couldn't see that. That helps boost your joy and happiness. This is relative and it will be different for everyone, which is the truth. But indulging yourself, like, to me, that's like, how sometimes us as young ladies can have these, I'm talking majestic, idealistic things that we want to do on a date, or things that, ways that we want a man to splurge on us or treat us or what have you. What Spirit was saying for me at that point is, do that for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Why wait? Like, if you're single and you're not already with someone who does these things for you, then are you just not going to experience them because you don't have somebody, or because you don't want to take that away from the man who might come into your life? If you ever thought like that, like I had one point, don't do that. It's bad. First of all, you could be waiting forever. That's number 1. Just want to throw that out there. Number 2, you can give it to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no law against it. There are no rules against that. All right, guys, give me a moment. I'll be back. I'm probably going to end this here because we now have company. All right, bye. Hope something resonated. Leave a comment below. Bye, you guys.